Hi, and welcome back to the Gospel Mom YouTube channel. I'm Amanda Welsh, a wife and homeschool mom to 4 kiddos. I've been doing a couple videos just to share our curriculum picks for this upcoming school year. If you have a third grader and you haven't checked out the video for my third grader yet, please go ahead and check that out. But for today, we're actually going to dive into what our curriculum picks are for this school year for our upcoming first grader. So I shared in the last video for my third grader that we're actually going to continue doing a homeschool hybrid program this upcoming school year. So my now kindergarten, soon to be first grader, which is crazy to think about, he will continue doing the hybrid program. This year for kindergarten, he was only going 2 days a week, but starting next year, he will be going 3 days a week. Through that program, it uses what's called the Act and Learning model. And like I've said before, I always start with what is the vision and what are the goals and what is the character traits and what are the goals I have for my children. And then I fit in the curriculum and the programs that align with that. And so I felt like the Act and Learning model does. It's very much student driven. It's got project-based learning, a lot of entrepreneurship involved in it. And so for the kindergarten through second grade ranges, it actually utilizes a lot of Montessori-based learning. So they have a Montessori curriculum and program that they use. So for the 3 days that he is there, he will be doing the Montessori stations. And if you're not familiar with that, basically they have different stations that are each subject, and it's a lot of different kind of puzzles and activities and things that they could figure out on their own so that they're kind of learning and teaching themselves these math concepts and reading, as well as practicing like everyday life skills like pouring a glass of water and doing different activities. So it's been really, really good for him for kindergarten. I felt like the hybrid program, as well as the things that we were changing at home, helped him immensely with his reading. So I'm excited to continue using that. Montessori, just give another quick high-level overview, emphasizes hands-on materials, independence, and self-directed learning, and kids rotate through stations to build foundational skills through exploration. I will probably share a separate video in the future just on the differences between some of these educational concepts and methodologies like Montessori, Charlotte Mason, classical. Acton now is another one that I'm becoming more passionate about. And he'll also participate in the same project-based learning that I mentioned in the other video that my third grader is. So every 6 weeks, they pick a different topic that they learn as an entire school. And then they have projects and an exhibition that they share what they've been learning, as well as a field trip that goes along with it. So right now they're doing the solar system. They each had to pick a planet that they were diving into. And then we'll see what the exhibition has to entail, and they're going to do the Children's Science Museum as their field trip for the theme. So outside of that, the Acton schools, they do have, at least this school that we're doing, which also it is faith-based, which I appreciate as well. They do have a menu, so to speak, of different curriculums that we as homeschoolers have access to, that they can order, and our tuition for the school goes towards having these curriculums to be able to use at home. So I have taken advantage of that to try some curriculums that I hadn't tried before, but I did add in some others that weren't in the offerings that they had that I wanted to add in for my individual kids. So one that we started this previous school year that I thought worked really well for him, and I did share this, I think, in my curriculum video because it's becoming one of my favorite tools to have in our school, is called Explode the Code. He is going into level 2 now. And so we're going to continue this. And since we do school all year round, I will probably, as soon as he's done, he's on level 1.5 right now. As soon as he's done with that, we're going to dive right into this one. And then once we get through one workbook, we just let the leader of the school know, and she gets the next one for us. But you don't have to be a part of a hybrid program or an Acton school or anything like that to utilize these resources in your school. So this is a Phonics workbook series that builds decoding, spelling, and reading fluency through simple, consistent practice. And I agree with that. I do like that it's simple. straightforward. It kind of follows the same pattern, so he starts to get used to it. And again, since one of my goals is to build independent learners, this becomes something that once they get used to it and they get to a certain level, they can start to do on their own. Now, right now, he still needs, some guidance because he's still figuring out some of those phonics rules, but overall, it's something that he can start to develop and do on his own. The other thing that he has access to through that school that I mentioned for my third grader is the Math UC. So even though he's getting a lot of math when he's there for Montessori, I wanted to incorporate even more. And I like having some handwritten math, and that's just kind of a personal preference of mine. So we have not tried this yet in our homeschool. I have heard great things about it from other homeschool moms, as well as Erin from the Gentle and Classical, which I'll be sharing more about that with the stuff that we're doing as an entire family, is that it's pretty straightforward, which is good. I think with the good and the beautiful, even though I really love their math, I think it got complicated a little bit for them with the different stories, and also just having a lot on one page, I think was a little bit overwhelming, especially for my second here. So I'm excited to try this out, and I think that these manipulatives are for both of them. I just got all of this today, and it did come like with a big, huge box of manipulatives. So I'm excited to have these, and I think it's important when you're picking a math curriculum. And again, this is just my personal thoughts, is to have one, especially in the elementary years, that has manipulatives with it. And then the thing that I added in for him outside of the hybrid program that he's going to be doing and all the education that he'll get there, the Math UC and Explode the Code, I actually went ahead and I got the Good and the Beautiful reading booster cards. So I liked this when I did it with my firstborn because it just was pretty, simple, and it has different phonics rules and things that they need to know. And it has every day, or not every day, but because it depends on how long it takes to master it. But basically, it goes through a bunch of different cards. I'm trying to explain it the simplest that I can. So I can just show you a couple examples. So this one's talking about short O sounds, and then they have to practice blending words with the short O sound. This one's explaining CK, that it makes the K sound, and ALL says all. And then they practice reading and mastering different phonics and reading skills. And some of them are sight words too that don't necessarily follow, like the traditional rules that they're learning. So like this one has sight words like he, she, me, the, we, to, you, love, go. So you practice those with them. And the way it works is you start on a card, a booster card, and you work with them on that booster card every day until they master it. And then once they master it, there's a little sticker that you can put on it. And again, since we homeschool all year round, he wanted to go ahead and jump into this. So we've already started doing these booster cards. This is the kindergarten one. I just felt like even though he's learned a lot of reading with the Montessori program at the Acton Hybrid School and Explode the Code, I felt like there was a couple gaps, I guess is the best way to say it, with some of the sight words and some of the other like untraditional things that you wouldn't know, right? Like you can learn all the sounds for the letters and figure out how to blend them. But I wanted to get him more practice with some of those nuances of like what SH says, what CH says. And so that way, he's continuing to grow in his learning skills. And I don't like using the words falling behind because I think I'll just skip that. You know what I'm trying to say. I just wanted to make sure that he was learning all of the, the basics, I guess, for reading and some of these additional rules where I was seeing he was kind of struggling with. And I was teaching them as we went with Explode the Code, but I thought doing something like this would just help get that extra practice every day. And the kids always like, having the stickers and getting that accomplishment. So if you do the Good and the Beautiful, like kindergarten or level 1, it comes with this. So this is a part of the total program. We won't be doing the language arts books that it comes with, but I still thought the booster cards would still have a lot of value to do on their own paired with everything else that he's doing. So in my next and final video on curriculum picks, because I thought separating this would be helpful so it wasn't one long drawn out video, I'll be talking about what we're going to do as an entire family. So we do have things that we do all together. So these are just their individual topics, as well as what my preschooler will be doing, because that's tied into kind of what we're doing as a whole family, which will make more sense when you get into that video. And then I'll also be sharing like what our schedule would look like with all of these different pieces and parts. So I hope to see you in the next one to share the topics and the curriculum that I picked for us to do all together. If this was helpful for you, please like and subscribe and share with anyone else that you think would benefit from learning about these different choices that we have for first grade. Thank you.